Hello, my name is Mandolin Royal, and today it's another chore day where I'm trying to scrounge up some room to move some birds around without calling anything, without selling anything, just utilizing my space appropriately while I'm in my peak season for grow out and flock development and thinking about next year and thinking about the results I want from this year to carry me over into the next season. Because when you're breeding your own flock and you're working yourself forward, next year and the year after that and the year after that is something that should probably be on your mind. Because it's a whole long game effect as you cultivate your flock to become exactly what you want them to be. So with these American breasts that I raise, I love them. And they work for us. They do the things. We get meat, we get eggs, we get the future flock, we get to learn a whole bunch on our methods and our reasons why we put this level of effort into what we're doing. So over here in pen 1, it's now beautifully empty, cleaned out, and ready for our next group of birds. And I had some flock issues recently that gave me a reason to free up space the way that I did today, because this space is absolutely needed. I am swimming in offspring that needs somewhere to move to make way for the next wave of chicks I have on hand in my hatch room. So, pen 2, I had them going pretty well, and I got some hatches out of that group, and results were great. But then I noticed at my last candling that fertility absolutely disappeared. So I had to go in there, grab the male, and figure out what the heck was going on. And it turns out he had a bumble on one foot, so that's annoying and difficult to treat. But that male is so nice, I'm going to go ahead and try to fix him, because I really like him. But in the meantime, that meant I had a little group of females with no male in there. I'm itching for space, so we took the birds that were in pen 1 and walked them on into pen 2. So there's been a little bit of drama as the new male from pen 1 meets the other females that were in pen 2. And then, nest box bickering and all that flock drama, which they seem to have largely gotten past over the last hour while I was working on the prep for getting this other pen ready. So now that I've condensed these adults, I can grab my next oldest group of offspring. They're about 14 weeks on down to 8 weeks old. And in another pen, I have some pullets that are younger than that group. And I'm going to take those 2 other pens, combine those birds together to keep on growing in this pen. So by emptying this one pen, I get to free up 2 other pens, which then lets me get into my brooders and pull out the oldest, split them by gender, male from female, get them set up into the grow pens, which frees up brooder space in the barn area so I can go in my hatch room and pull out those babies and split them up and improve their space. Since I have eggs going in the incubator, I have another batch coming, and everybody needs the right amount of space. So now pen 2 is full, technically, by my standards. So I've got 12 birds in there now. It's a 7x11 pen with a big outdoor run. So each bird now has 6.5, well, just shy of 6.5 square feet each. That's as tight as I'm willing to go on mature American breast stock. They do not like to be crowded. They do not like to be pinched for space. So now, I think there's a couple outside, but that stocking density, that's as tight as I'm willing to go. And as you can see in their peaceful existence, they're okay with that spacing too. Now, if the bickering had gotten out of line, then the first thing I would cite is it's too tight and they're not going to be able to work out their differences because the competition is way too high. And competition within a flock, that is them staking their claim on the available resources. That's the feeder, the drinker, the roost space, all of it. You want to keep that competition low so that everybody gets a fair chance for getting everything that they need. So now that this is all empty, now I collect my other birds. And every time I move birds, I do get in there, handle them. I feel on their bone spacing, their structure. Because when I move them into these new pens, I'm only looking to shift the best. And if I find culls within that group, I might not get the 2 pens that I want to have empty, because the culls are going to wait around until processing day. So we'll see if I get to do my whole plan today based on what I find in the pens. So what I want to do is to get this pen empty. These are all pullets. There's only like 7 in there. And then I have another group in here. I want to see if those birds are going to get along with the other birds. So I can have both of these spaces. So that then I can get into my brooders and get them out of there. It's a big rotation without the population changing. Unless I find a reason to change the population. We'll find out. But for now, I'm going to do the finishing details and then start grabbing and sorting birds to get this big pen filled appropriately. I may use my sort cage. We can do good, better, best, worse, okay, reasonable. I don't know. We'll get in there and see how they're doing. So over here in this other area, I have my project bird grow outs. They now have a lot of room to figure out their little chicken life. And their space is in this 9x13 shed, which has some older brooder slash rabbit hutch slash whatever I need them for spaces. And that's where I put the male from pen 2 to go through his bumble treatment. And one of his lady friends, who is decidedly very, very broody. So she's camped out here on 10 eggs to keep him company while he goes through all that. He gets to feel like he's still doing flock things. And he talks to these guys too. He's really a great male. So we'll give him the benefit of time and treatment and see if he comes through. He's not too happy about it, but we'll figure it out and maybe get some side chicks from Little Miss Broody Britches. The project birds, they're a mixed group right now. I'm giving them the benefit of growth so they can tell me more about themselves. There's several age groups. About 8 weeks on through 16 weeks, depending on which batch they were from. But for now, back to the barn, back to work. Well, actually, now that I've gotten through the bulk of the chores, I'm going to leave things as they lie for today and dive back into it tomorrow or Monday. I don't know. It's a holiday. We have some plans. I can only do so much in one day. We'll get back to this. But I really do enjoy watching the birds, hanging out with them, and seeing how they incorporate themselves into their flock environment, especially with this now merged pen of 11 pullets, 1 male, how they engage with the neighbors in the pen next door, even though they were just here. But that little simple movement caused some fence drama in the different groups with the pen next door. But for now, everybody is well satisfied, well spaced, competition is low, and the flock is doing what the flock ought to be doing. So I'll continue this tomorrow. More on this later.